How early is too early for this rookie class? Let's ask Dave Richard right now on FFT Express. What's up, everyone? I'm Adam Azer with Dave. All right, here we go. I'm looking at some NFC data, this high-stakes leagues, drafts since April 29th. Not a lot, but let's see what we got. Ashton Jeanty going 9th overall as RB4 behind Barkley, Robinson, and Gibbs. But 9th overall for Jeanty, do you think that's too high? Would you go over that or under that? I guess
I'd consider going, well, if I'm saying under, that means a lower number.
Before or after?
I would consider even going before that. If you really want to have a running back that's got 20 PPR point per game upside, I think he's close to that. Then Jeanty is absolutely worth taking a reach, knowing that you're going to get some good receivers falling to you in rounds 2 and 3.
Okay, so there's no other running back you'd take ahead of him. Would you take Achane ahead of him?
No.
All right. How about?
I just don't want to deal with the Miami headache. Achane was great with Tua last year. I suspect he'll be great with Tua again this year. Who knows how many games we're going to get with Tua? And then who knows how many games we're going to get of Achane, because he's had some injury concerns each of his first 2 years.
All right, let's see. Omar Hampton, 43rd overall. So he goes before Chuba Hubbard, Chris Godwin, Ken Walker, DK Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, Jaden Daniels. 43rd overall for Omar Hampton.
It's probably fine. There are a couple of running backs that you name that I'd rather have than Hampton, because we know at the beginning of the year, at minimum, Hampton's going to split with Najee Harris. It's what's going to happen starting in week 3, 4, 5. If it's not that big of an if Hampton separates from Najee Harris, that's when we'll see Hampton's numbers go up. I think we're all counting on that to come down the pike. It's just a matter of, is it week 3? Is it week 5? Is it week 9? Who knows? But I'd rather take one of the more established running backs that have given us some good production. That would be Walker. That would be Chuba Hubbard. I'd take them ahead of Hampton. But older running backs with injury concerns, age concerns, the Connors, the Montgomerys, the Joneses, the Pachecos, yeah, I'll take the chance on Hampton then. And early round 4, that's what we're talking. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
early middle. That's early middle round 4.
43rd. Yeah, it's mid.
Yeah.
It's such a big gap, though, because it's 20 picks before Quinshon Judkins, who's a little bit ahead. But you get Judkins 64th, RJ Harvey 69th, TreVeyon Henderson 72nd, Caleb Johnson 77th. So within
all those values,
within 14 picks, beginning in round 6, yeah, we do love those values. You get 4 other rookie running backs: Judkins, Harvey, Henderson, and Johnson. Do you think it's justifiable to take Omari and Hampton 2 rounds earlier than that?
I'd rather wait and get one of those other running backs. It's as simple as that. At those values, I would much rather. If those values creep up, and I would expect that by the time we get to August, those values are going to creep up, that's when I might go the other way and say Hampton is probably worth taking one round earlier than those other rookie running backs.
What's your who is your 3rd ranked rookie running back?
It's RJ Harvey in Denver, and it's got opportunity written all over it. This isn't necessarily the 3rd most talented running back in the draft class, but he's entering just a juicy situation. It's a great offense. The track record of pass catching running backs in this offense is great. Harvey can do that. The competition for playing time isn't very strong. It's very possible that RJ Harvey just ends up being the lead back right away for Denver, and taking that ahead of somebody even like Judkins, who's going to be the 1A back in Cleveland. Not the same type of offense, and he certainly is going to have to share with at least Jerome Ford. And the other running backs that we would talk about in this range, it's Johnson, it's Henderson. They're going to share too. Harvey might not have to share as much. So for now, Harvey's my 3rd guy.
I mean, this ADP, if it holds round 6 or later for those 4 running backs, would heavily, heavily influence my draft strategy. I would be so fine waiting, take 1 running back my first 5 picks, and then take 2 of them in round 6 and 7 or something like that. If I could pull that
what
off.
else is great about that is you can load up on wide receiver, or even just take 2 wide receivers. Because once you get to round 7 at wide receiver, it's going to get gross this year. The wide receiver feels very top heavy. You can probably throw one of the top tight ends in that mix too. And so 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers. And now here you are staring at one of these rookies in round 6 to be your RB2. And you might even be able to double up on them in round 7.
All right, we're going to take a look at wide receivers. Which rookie wide receiver was drafted first? We'll tell you after this on FFT Express. Got a guess, Dave? First rookie wide receiver off the board?
I mean, if we're counting Travis Hunter, he's going to be the first one.
Incorrect. According to this ADP on NFC, it was Tet McMillan, 54th overall. Travis Hunter, 68th overall. Thoughts?
Weird. I get that maybe people are nervous about how much playing time Hunter will have at wide receiver, but that's the area that he can make the biggest mark at first. The Jaguars have told us that he's going to be used as a wide receiver predominantly, and I'm absolutely buying into Travis Hunter taking a very large share of that passing game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is it going to be enough to like unseat Brian Thomas Jr.? No, but he's going to be close to it. He's a really, really talented receiver who's going to help make Trevor Lawrence a better quarterback because I think he's going to be the shorter area target guy. I think his ADOT will be lower than Brian Thomas's. And so he's just going to get a slew of targets inside of 10 yards and just make a ton of plays. That's what he did at Colorado. It's part of what he did at Colorado. So I would rather have Hunter than Tet McMillan. I admit it's close. That is the range, though. I think both rookie wide receivers, the light turns green on them starting at right around 55th overall.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going earlier on Hunter for McMillan, 54th overall. I think I'm later than that. I don't want to take him in the 6th round.
No, I've got him as a top 70 pick, so that is round 6, but it's toward the end of round 6.
Guys, he went ahead of Tetairoa McMillan, Olave, Odunze, Waddle, Judy, Jamison Williams.
Not Judy. Judy should go significantly ahead of both of these receivers, and Jamo could go ahead of both of these receivers too.
I would go Hunter, Jamison Williams, McMillan. I think, but I got to sort all that out. Man, those wide receiver rankings are so tough. That range. Last one here would be the Packers guys with back-to-back picks, at least among wide receivers. Jaden Reed, then Matthew Golden. Reed 85th overall, Golden 91st overall. They are wide receivers 45 and 46. You going earlier or later than that on Matthew Golden, 91st?
Yeah, I'm going later on both of these receivers as of now, and the only way that'll change is if Golden just absolutely shines in training camp in the preseason, and just every report out of Green Bay is this dude's catching everything, and this is going to be an important part of him. He's working at all 3 levels of the offense, so he's not just going in to be the speed downfield replacement for Christian Watson. He's also going to work across the middle of the field and running hitch routes and being put in position to make plays after the catch, like on a slant, for example, from Jordan Love. If we see him being used as a number 1 receiver, this is what a number 1 receiver is. If he does these things, then he's not even going to last this long. He's going to go in that other range, much closer to McMillan than it would be where I have him and where he's going right now.
All right. Thank you, Dave Richard. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. We got another edition of Fantasy Football Today Express coming at you on Wednesday. Until then, have a great day, everybody. See you next time.